Hey guys, welcome back to another Bobby FPS video. To my surprise, quite honestly, a lot of you guys watched the how to be a tinker video and really caught me off surprise. So here we are with a best tips and recommendations, I would say, for this game. I've logged over 80 hours this month, maybe even pushing 90 hours. And I definitely have a love-hate relationship with this game, but I really wanted to just get into the nitty-gritty and just there's some things that I changed to make this game attempt to feel smooth and for your aim to feel better. I think there's a lot of players who think there's some type of mouse acceleration going on. And it just so, like, I've watched the top players like Enders and Focus BF. Sometimes it looks, to me, it looks like you're locked in to shooting and then like you can over aim so easy and it's really frustrating. I'm not really sure what's going on. I don't know if that's just something in the settings or something I'm not aware of, but I really did try to find something on Reddit because I think it's quite honestly really frustrating to be aiming at someone and they'll move left and right and you'll over aim. Or it could just be a skill issue, guys. I really don't know. I do remember myself being a pretty good player, but you know, 2 years of not really playing and just focusing on gun content could be also, you know, part of that. So anyways, thank you guys so much. Subscribe if you're new. There will be more Delta Force content, but don't expect me to just pump out a bunch. Let me know what you guys want to see next, if you want to see more Delta Force content, and let's get into the video. Okay, I want to go into the settings really quick, and there's a few things that I want to change. There are two important tips that I want to talk about a little bit later in the video, so stay tuned to watch that. So most importantly, we're going to do mouse sensitivity. So mouse sensitivity for me, I do a 5.5. I really like a quicker mouse sensitivity so I can kind of zoom, or not zoom, but scope around the map and just move around, or if someone's shooting, I can rather easily flick a 180 or whatever they are. That just feels the most comfortable to me. Now ADS sensitivity type, that's where it kind of gets a little bit more complex. So just to break it down for you guys, so MDV is your monitor distance coefficient, and I'll just hover so you guys can kind of read it really quick. Okay, so MDV only is what the game sets you at. The reason I don't like that is because you don't get these options. You don't get to fine tune your ADS sensitivity by magnification, and that's what the X is standing for, guys, is just your magnification. If you didn't know, very basic stuff that I want to hopefully just inform you guys about. So basically the way I would describe this is MDV only is like your easy, if you don't want to mess with anything. Sensitivity per zoom plus MDV, so you take in your monitor distance coefficient as well. That is like your intermediate, and then set sensitivity per zoom is your advanced. You get rid of this. I think this does actually kind of help make the game feel a little bit better, but once again, this is so biased that you almost have to try it yourself. And I'm just so sick of, you know, sitting in the back of the map, turning with this off, turning this on, setting sensitivity 0.67, 0.64. Like, it just got annoying. The UI is absolute dog shit. You got to click escape, then you got to click for, you know, keyboard, and then you got to click here. For me, it's just confusing. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Okay. So I'd really mess with this. Obviously you can tell I don't use anything higher than 2 to 3 times. So I have it at 0.75. There should be lower, but like I said, most times I'm pushing people. So 0.64 is where I like it. Okay. Controls in combat. There's some really nice information here. Okay. It should be on hold, guys, not toggle. I'm not sure. If you play toggled, you might as well try to play this game with a controller. It doesn't make sense. Playing any FPS game needs to be on hold. Okay. Makes the most sense. Okay, once we switch that, I've told you this before, but this is also a new one. Switch optic or zoom. I'll show you that when we're in the firing range. I have it on push down on your mouse or on your scroll wheel, okay? It used to be N. I like to just personally keep my thumb on spacebar so I don't have to spread my thumb and press N. So that's what I kind of tested around, and it's on the scroll wheel. I just press down and switch optic or zoom, okay? Tactical gear is on your 5 and 4, personal preference. This is a big change as well. I thought holding breath was only beneficial if you had a sniper. I was very wrong, okay? Let's put that to toggle, okay? It's going to make a huge difference. So just think, something to think about is if you have it on hold, you have to hold shift and try shooting and tracking someone. I think it's just much easier to train your brain to press it on toggle. So as soon as you start shooting someone, you just press shift and you can let go and, you know, move your pinky to wherever else. So I would switch this to toggle. Give it a couple of days, try it out. Obviously this is what works best for me. It might not work best for you, but I think another, you know, figure out what you could replace shift with. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I think I changed it. Cancel. Another huge thing, which was almost hidden, is your rescue. If you play medic a lot, you will be pressing F a lot. I like to rather press it than hold it, personal preference. So you got to click show more and then from hold to toggle. It's just more simple for my brain, quite honestly. Press F and you'll revive. You start getting shot at, press F again and you'll let go. Instead of holding F to let go, just for me makes the most sense. Everything else here is the same. Screen wise, everything here I left. Okay, graphics, I play on borderless windowed because I toggle out a lot from the game. My FOV is 103. I know a lot of people play at 110. Personally for me that feels almost too far, so I play at 103 just because I can still see kind of far left and right, but the enemies are still kind of big. So personally that's for me. That's just my personal preference. Now let's go to the most important thing, and I can really touch up on the vehicles if you guys want me to here briefly, depending on how much time we have. So let's get into the firing range. Okay, so I don't remember if this should be on off or on. It's been so long, but swap or scope magnification adapts automatically. I'm gonna just show you what this looks like off. Okay, turning it off. Zoom. I think of this as if you're a racehorse with blinders on. When you zoom in, you kind of see how everything gets kind of pulled in and you're just focusing to your right. Like, let me move up a little bit, like perfectly right here. Let's see. See, once I zoom in, you can't see that thing. So let's say you zoom in, you're shooting, you can't see anyone to your right anymore. Personally, I think that's just very it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't want to be a horse, a racehorse. So once I start shooting someone, let's say I'm locked in and someone starts shooting, I have to look, identify you, then start shooting you. This way, what I do, and this is something you can mess around with, I turn it off, or I turn it on, excuse me. Now, look, shooting someone, oh, there's someone right there. It just makes the most sense. So now, basically what happens now is here, we'll line up with, see? Nothing changes. There's no zoom. So if I'm shooting in the middle and then boom, I can just shoot you. That just makes the most sense. On top of that, for this to be in effect, there's one thing we need to change, okay? So we're gonna go to, oops. We're gonna go to weapons. Zoom, oops. Hello? I accidentally deleted it, but so yeah. We'll just do the red dot. Okay, we gotta go to calibrate. So let me just show you. It's on default, okay? So look, once you zoom in, there's that zoom. Okay, now what we need to do is we're gonna go to calibrate. And what we actually do is we get rid of it. Just get rid of it. And now, watch this. It does nothing, but look at that. That just to me feels and looks significantly better. There's nothing going on. Hopefully that makes sense. Now let's briefly jump into what I think is the best tank vehicle setup. So let's click leave firing range and then we can exit off of that. And then vehicles. As you can tell, 10 out of 10. The IFV, I don't use that much, but it's to level 4, which you need for the active defense. LA, the double or the AA, I don't really use. The 30 mils are really good. This one I have to get to level 4, but I'm really close. The helicopters are a little wonky. I do have the recon to level 5, but anyway, as you can tell, I'm a big tank guy and I really like playing it. So I still run the 120 armor piercing. Not much has changed if you've watched the other video, but really briefly. So I still run the 120. I might actually mess around with the heavy machine gun. However, I think the light machine gun is still better for short distance. Usually when infantry is pushing, they're relatively close, and I appreciate the faster fire rate to mow them down compared to hitting 2 or 3 shots on the heavy machine gun. That's personal preference. Feel free to test around. I use the thermal smoke because there's a lot of people, once you're proficient in the tank, people will start locking on with you in javelins and you'll get locked on by the recon, and this basically gets rid of that. So that's why I really like the thermal smoke. And then most importantly, active defense, pretty self-explanatory. If you're getting shot, you turn that on, and then it basically detects incoming shells and destroys them before they hit the vehicle, which is so important into your survivability. So that's what I like to use. Weapon station, most of the time when I have people playing, they definitely prefer the heavy machine gun because it does higher damage to your helicopters, your attack helicopters, and infantry most importantly. Someone did ask me why I don't use the wire guided missile, and I think it's attention span. First of all, the wire guided missiles are very wonky, and the distance that you can push them out are not that good, and then it almost feels like it's laggy, so I really don't like to use them, and I don't think I think people in theory like the idea, but the heavy machine gun is better, and it's more versatile because you can shoot infantry and vehicles, compared to this where you can only shoot one person at a time, then you got to wait the 20-second cooldown, then shoot another tank. So personally, I like the heavy machine gun. Weapon pod, the multiple grenade launcher is not good either. I've tried all of these, and I think I've come to the conclusion that the rocket barrage might be the best. So I'm going to swap that, and commander, you can't change. So IFV, almost the same concept. I haven't tried these, but these are really nice. This does a lot of damage through heavy armor, so you can almost 7 times out of 10 win against a tank, which I think is really nice. I have a wire guided missile. Like I said, I like it, but it's not that good because it's kind of up close, it's really good, but far ranges it's not that good. It's not close to like a Battlefield 4 guided missile, so just keep that in mind. It's kind of wonky still, and it could be improved, and the tracking on it is very wonky. It's a little delayed. Defense grenade I don't use personally. I still like the thermal smoke, kind of breaks away those missile locks and tracking, and then of course active defense. But yeah, I think the stuff regarding your guns are super huge, and the settings that I showed you regarding the scope magnification and some of the other stuff really helps. My best advice is, if you're patient enough, go into the firing range for 10-15 minutes before you start playing and set this to sensitivity per zoom plus MDV, and then kind of mess with all that before you kind of jump into a game, and then just tell me what you guys think. That's going to kind of wrap up the video. Let me know, guys, if this helped. Try it out, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for checking out the channel, and I'll see you guys another time.